All right, let's talk Sunteck Realty. We're digging into their latest earnings, and honestly, the big story here isn't just about growth, it's about some serious acceleration. So let's break down how they're pulling it off, all in about 5 minutes.
Okay, so here's the plan. We're going to kick things off with their really impressive sales numbers, and then we'll get into the financials that are actually making it all possible. After that, we'll see how they're pouring money into future expansion, check out this brand new ultra-luxury brand they just unveiled, and finally, take a look at their absolutely jam-packed launch schedule.
All right, first things first, let's talk about the headline story this quarter, which is just raw, powerful sales growth. I mean, this really sets the tone for everything else we're about to cover.
Check this out. A 34% year-on-year jump in pre-sales. They hit a whopping 7 billion rupees in just Q2 alone. I mean, that's some serious momentum right there.
And here's the key thing to understand. This isn't some random accident or a one-off hit. This success is coming from a super deliberate, strategic focus on those high-end market segments, where demand is just really, really strong right now.
Okay, so you see these great sales numbers, right? But strong sales don't happen in a vacuum. You've got to have a solid financial engine behind it all to keep that growth going. So let's look under the hood at the financials.
And believe me, Sunteck's foundation is about as rock solid as it gets. The company is basically operating with almost zero debt. Their net debt-to-equity ratio is just 0.04. It's practically nothing. And what that does is it gives them incredible financial flexibility to jump on new opportunities whenever they pop up.
And this next number, it just perfectly shows how profitable they are. EBITDA, a really key measure of profit, more than doubled compared to this time last year. A 108% jump. I mean, that is just absolutely outstanding.
Now this slide here, this really paints the whole picture, doesn't it? You can see it clear as day. Revenues are way up, profits are soaring, and their margins have gotten significantly bigger. It's like a textbook example of a company that is just firing on all cylinders.
So with a balance sheet this strong, you might think they'd play it safe, right? Nope. Sunteck isn't just sitting on their cash. They are aggressively putting that money back to work to fuel even more future growth.
And just look at this. Look at the sheer acceleration here. In just the first half of this year, they've already pumped 4.3 billion rupees into new business development. To put that in perspective, that's more than double what they invested in the entire last year. The pace is incredible.
And you're probably wondering, where's all that money going? Well, here you go. It's going into 2 huge new projects in Mumbai's very valuable western suburbs. You've got a redevelopment project in Andheri West and a joint development deal in Mira Road. Together, those two add a whopping 23 billion rupees to their future pipeline. Okay, this next part is maybe one of the most exciting things to come out of the earnings call. They announced the launch of a brand new, totally exclusive, buy-invite-only lifestyle brand that's really meant to just redefine luxury.
So the brand is called Immensa. And get this, it's a word Sunteck actually came up with themselves. The idea is to capture this vision of uniting immensity with indulgence. Pretty cool, right? And its very first project is slated for Nepean Sea Road in Mumbai, which, as you know, is one of the most prestigious addresses in the entire country.
And the chairman's vision for this? It's crystal clear. As he put it himself on the call, Immensa is designed to literally create a new category of luxury in the Indian market, something that sets benchmarks that, quote, have never been seen before.
So, you've got this great performance, you've got this new brand. What does the immediate future hold? Well, that brings us to the launch pipeline, which, as you can imagine, was a huge topic of conversation during the analyst Q&A on the call.
And really, this was the big question on everybody's mind. Investors, analysts, they all wanted to know what specific projects are actually hitting the market soon that are going to keep this growth story alive.
And the answer they got was, well, it's a massive pipeline. Management's exact words were a plethora of launches. And they weren't kidding. We're talking the flagship Immensa project, huge developments at ODC and Fifth Avenue, new towers coming up in Mira Road and Vasai, a whole new phase in Naigaon. Oh, and on top of all that, their very first international project in Dubai. It's a lot.
Now, when the analysts pushed them on future acquisitions, management was pretty clear. Their strategy is basically to double down on what's already working so well. They're going to stay laser-focused on snapping up projects in the premium and uber-luxury spaces instead of, shifting their focus down to the mid-income aspirational market.
So what does all this add up to, right? Well, it's not just about them chasing the fanciest, most expensive projects. It's actually about a really deliberate and, more importantly, a really balanced strategy. And you can see that diversification perfectly right here in their overall portfolio mix. Look at that. It's almost an even split between uber luxury, premium luxury, and their aspirational projects. This kind of balance is so important. It's what positions them to capture demand and keep growing, no matter which little segment of the market happens to be hottest at any given time.
Which, leaves us with this one big final thought. Sunteck has clearly built this powerful, well-funded, and strategically balanced growth engine. The results really do speak for themselves. So the big question now is, with this plethora of launches just around the corner, how far and just how fast can this thing really go?